Surprise, no intro joke this time. But if you don't guess the correct lizard here between left, middle, and right, you have to like and subscribe. I'm going to go middle. If I win, everybody has to like and subscribe. Sorry, not sorry. But if you picked middle as well, you're a guaranteed winner here. And let us see. Ooh, it's gonna be the left lizard. Ooh, you hate to see it, but everybody that picked middle and right, you have to like and subscribe. What's going on, YouTube? We are not affected by the daylight saving times because Zanil is still here at 8 p.m. Had a mini heart attack as I myself forgot. And if you forget where I am, I'm in the Hollow City, inside of Cold Harbor, outside of the plane of existence. You actually probably don't want to come here if you don't want to be in the realm of damnation. Oh my goodness gracious. This is my favorite figurine ever. I don't know how to describe this to you, but they always create stuff like gateways and stables and merchant wagons and these cool art piece things, sarcophaguses, which looks pretty dope, statue bases, heads, more statues, tents, pedestals. How often do you see a mammoth figurine? How often? All right, for 12,000 gold, this is a steal. They're basically giving it to you. You can put this in your house anywhere. You can put it on a pedestal. You can put it on a shelf, on a table, anywhere. But overall, actually, this week, these statues, by the way, do phenomenally well. This statue in particular, I saw somebody buying for 50,000 gold on Facebook, on Xbox, where it's, prices are a little more deflated. So these statues usually do really well. Even the head that's, looks a little abrasive. Maybe you could rebuild the rest of his body like the 5 pieces of Exodia. But please, ladies and gentlemen, get a figurine. And as we wait for the traditional golden vendor, which you can find inside of your northern High Rock Gate because you're in Daggerfall Covenant. If you're watching this in a different alliance, well, you're going to have to go to the other place, which you can find linked below on our website. We talked about this vendor because they have golden items as well as some great other assortments of monster sets. And as always, please hit the like and subscribe button. Sorry, I'm doing 2 plugs in this one because my intro is the lizard racing, but I'm actually just addicted. Restart with Grundwolf from Moongrave Fane, which is certainly a unique set because when you deal critical damage, you restore magicka or stamina, whichever maximum is higher, and you also gain 337 of the other resource, but this can only occur once every 5 seconds. So sets like these are interesting because they're a sustain set, one of the only 2-piece sustain sets. However, its brother, which ironically I am wearing right here, is Roxas. Let me take myself out of the frame here for you so you don't have to look at me. You can see that being in combat gains you a bunch of recovery. So would you rather have to artificially require yourself to crit something or only be able to do it every 5 seconds? Or would you rather just be in combat? So that's where sets like these kind of struggle. Now, if you're a monster set collector, maybe you buy it because you don't want to farm Moongrave Fane. Nobody will judge you there. 200,000 alliance points. I've got tens of millions across all my characters. Maybe you just throw 200k at it so you have it. Got it for the sticker book, but probably not one that you need to purchase for most content. But that's not to say that it's a bad set. You could still build a great setup with this because the sustain you do, especially if you're a magicka and stamina user, is still pretty good. So I'd give it like an 8.0. It's kind of in that good to great range, but the problem is that the 9s and 10s of what it's trying to do are just significantly better. And then there was Zons from Scale Collar Peak. Now, immediately we need to talk about this because there's going to be 2 types of comments in the comments below, and then people also just wishing people a happy weekend. So there's really 3 types of comments. So the first 2 types, first one, oh my god, I'm so glad that Zons is in. I hate farming Scale Collar Peak. It requires people to communicate. I'm antisocial. My tongue has been cut out. I'm actually mute. I refuse to put a headset on. I would rather walk through burned glass with fire ants actively biting my feet than join an Xbox Live party and talk about the mechanics of Scale Collar Peak. And then the second type of comment is going to go, fellas, just go farm Scale Collar Peak. This is a free item. I don't know why anybody would spend money on something that's literally free. You just farm veteran Scale Collar Peak and it's free one time. So those are the 2 types of comments, and I'm going to satiate both of them because here's the beautiful thing. about the world we live in is that you, the viewer listening right now, you get to decide. Do you want to farm scale collar peak with people who don't have thumbs randomly? Or do you just want to spend 100,000 gold or 200,000 alliance points, which you hopefully have, or at least you have the weekend to farm it, to get one of the best monster sets in the game? Because when you deal critical damage with a light or heavy attack, you have a 33% chance to tether you to the enemy for 10 seconds. And as long as you remain within 8 meters of them, enemies touching this tether take 470 flame damage every 1 second, but it increases by 100% per tick, and it increases and afflicts the burning status effect. It can only occur once every 20 seconds, but it does scale with your weapon and spell damage. Yeah, this is just one of the best PvE. You could use it for PvP too, but then you're kind of have to stay close to them. So usually you see this more for PvE content. It's not as good as it was. I would say this is like a 10 out of 10 set when mythics didn't exist. There are just some mythics that take this away, but like there are lots of content, 4-man content especially, where you can't run Harpooner's Wait and Kill it because you're gonna get touched by the dungeon, not your group mates, hopefully. And because of that, this still sees a lot of play in 4-man content. It's definitely a fantastic monster set. I would give it like a 9.9. It's definitely not where it was at a 10.0. It's fallen off slightly since Mythics. You can't give it a 10.0. People in the comment, there'll be a third type of comment. It's like, Jake, I agree with the fire ants, and I agree with the arrogant people who say that you should just run a dungeon, but it's not a 10.0. It's like a 9.99999 repeating, of course. Next up from Elden Hollow 1 or 2 is Bark Skin. Reduce the duration of immobilizations and snares applied to you by 50%, and when an immobilization or snare is applied to you, you heal for 2058 health, and you restore 558 stamina. So, this is a set, right, where you're getting health. You might think, Jake, why is health important to note versus, like, health recovery? Health recovery is affected by Battle Spirit more negatively than just healing. And same with, it's good to always restore resource versus adding something to your resource recovery. For example, resource recovery is over 2 seconds. So having something immediately is granted in the moment that it happens, not over a period of time. So that's always good to note. 5-second cooldown though, And this would be the meta for this set because there's immobilizations and snares out the wazoo. I don't even think there's probably more snares and immobilizations in Cyrodiil than there are people inside of Cyrodiil. So even with this being the best meta for this set, it doesn't even probably reach like a 7 out of 10. It's probably like a 6.9. It's almost good, but it's in that like above average, mediocre kind of tier, unfortunately. Next up, I believe is from Spindle Clutch, and it's Prayer. Now, the only thing that this thing is going to do, it's going to be as helpful as your brother whose controller is not plugged in praying for you, because unfortunately, this thing's pretty useless. So, you get Magicka, Weapon and Smell, and Recovery. Okay, there's a semblance of, something going on there. And then when you overheal yourself or an ally, you grant them a damage shield. It's usually about 5,000. We are affected by Battle Spirit for 6 seconds. This effect can occur once every 2 seconds. I mean, the problem is that the niche utilization for this would be like 4-man content where you're like, look, please, everybody, don't die stupidly. So you're giving everybody extra bonus shields. And even in that niche utilization, 5,000 damage. If you're about to get killed by something and you're going for like a rare, 4-person, 4-man title, no death, hard mode, speed run, 5,000 damage is generally not going to make or break that. And even if you boosted this, as much as possible, it's just not good. They're just sets that are better, unfortunately. And you're just going to want to use those. That's its best utilization, and it's not even good at that. I give it a 7.0. If you were talking about that specific 4-man group content, maybe you guys are trying to get that Spindle Clutch 1 no death hard mode speed run out of the way. Sure, put this bad boy on. Make sure those spiders don't nibble your ankles too aggressively. Next up, we have Withered Hand, which is from the Alakir Desert. Now, Alakir Desert is overfarmed, so buying jewelry from the Alakir Desert is a bit silly, admittedly. It's kind of like buying bottled water when you have perfectly good filtered tap water at home. So, it's silly. So you get Magicka Recovery, Magicka, and then when you're within 28 meters of an enemy you were in combat with and the enemy dies, you heal For about 2,000 health, gain 2,000 magicka. This can occur once every 3 seconds. Now, this set was actually nerfed, fun fact. There used to be no cooldown on it. So apparently, at one point, this thing was crazy. Probably in Cyrodiil, people were just slapping this on and just getting infinite health and magicka back just because big conflicts, especially back in the day, when Cyrodiil had like 2,000 player cap. These days, it's like a 6 out of 10. I mean, you can get better ways to get your health back, better ways to get your magicka back. Next up is Werewolf Hide. Now, I will give you a bonus point if you immediately know where this is from. And that is because we've had, I think, all base game sets from all of the things here. And they're either from easy dungeons or crappy overland areas. Because this is from Glenumbra. And it gives you health, stamina, weapon, and spell. When you take damage, you generate 6 ultimate. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds. So basically, you're getting like 1.2? 1.2? Yeah, 1.2 ultimate every second. And you could also stack that with heroisms and different blah, blah, blah. So, yes, you could use this on some sort of like ultimate generation build. You're just spamming your ultimate crazily. You're not going to do that for PvE because there's just better ways to deal damage for PvE. So you do it for PvP, but you do it for PvP and you're thinking to yourself, okay, I'm using my ultimate a lot, but also I'm not really giving myself a crazy amount of stats here. I mean, you are getting a bar of health and stamina, weapon and spell. In its best utilization, I'm sure you could build a good ultimate dump set thing with this. So I'll give it a 7.0, but I can't recommend this. Just if you wanted to try this, just go to Glenumbra. Or just go to a guild trader. It's probably there in like its golded out version for like $5. But everyone, thank you guys for watching. It was crazy because one of the most requested sets is in store. One of the most requested sets. And then everything else is hot cross buns garbage. Literally microwave a sticky bun, throw it at the golden vendor because it is horrible. Now, I will say the luxury vendor, it's a bit divisive. Because I love that stupid mammoth, and I know how valuable some of those statues can get. So I do like the luxury vendor, just to kind of give a TLDR at the end. So thank you guys so much again for watching. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do to enter is be subscribed. It's just that easy. So just be subscribed. Second thing you can do for the second drawing is leave a comment and a like on the video. In fact, you can do it on as many videos as you want throughout any time period. And the third thing is look for hidden word be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to find and comment that word, you will win. I'm going to thank you one last time. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you later. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.